welcome to Ulti TV's coverage of Tom's Tourney 2026. It is finals day, and we're kicking that off with both semi-final rounds in the Open Division, starting with Paris versus Bologna. Noisy-le-Sec Ultimates Iznogood taking on Bologna Flying Disc La Fotta. I'm Stefan Rapazzo alongside Benji Reese to bring the action. Bengo, we got a big one here. La Fotta have been red hot, but Izno just keep getting through somehow. And it could be because of this man, Luca Bouchon, who sends the first bomb. He ran out of real estate, and that sails out looking for Gaspar Caligaro.
Caligaro is one of Bouchon's favorite downfield threats. He's got that field stretching ability, but you saw the edge there from Bouchon, has it tailing out of bounds. Caligaro has to go up early in order to try and get the toe in, but I think he knew that he was lost.
Talosri comes under, and the Bologna D-line gets going. They have been red hot. Romano to Ostri. Ostri sends straight away, looking to give it back to Romano, and does. And Bologna break before you can blink.
La Fotta have been so locked in this weekend. A lot of teams, early season, you're still figuring things out. You're there for vibes, you're there for bonding. La Fotta are here to win, and they've looked locked in with Cisco, the Venezuelan. When he's got it, he's open deep because he just gets it, lets it go, and immediately pegs it to that opposite end zone. The Israeli Osri opens it up and uncorks a real diamond of a throw to lead Romano into the end zone for the La Fotta break. Devastating.
Entirely different paths mentioned, Benji. La Fotta, maybe the best form we've seen in the tournament. Is that fair to say?
I don't think I've seen a side look better than La Fotta.
I agree with you completely. And Izno, I mean, we saw them on stream against Nomadic Tribe, and they were pedestrian. They looked good, but they didn't adjust their lines. They got beat well by Nomadic Tribe, and then we turn away and they knock out Wall City on a Universe Point quarter, and then they go take out the previously undefeated 3SB in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, when these two sides met, because they both came out of the same pool, it was a 14-9 win for La Fotta.
So Izno will need to sharpen up, particularly after that first point break. Giffard goes to Bouchon, and Dauvois slides into one. He gets up, and you see what a little bit of rainfall will do to this pitch. Some slipping and sliding. Bouchon catches up, quickly dishes off to Davy. Davy leads, and Dauvois bids into it. He looks for the offhand. Giffard. There he goes high. Beautiful throw. Caligaro is there, and Izno hold on the second ask.
When I first saw Izno play this weekend, I did a double take, because there's no way that's Clément Giffard. Where's the signature power plat gone?
Yeah, he's been no Viking for a while now, but still got the same throws, even though he doesn't have the signature hairdo.
I'll be honest, I think it looks very clean. He doesn't half scrub up well. This is a really nice throw as well. Caligaro puts it out, opens up that space, and the lofted elevator backhand is a good way to sit it in, with Bavia unable to close the distance.
We'll get a look at La Fotta's O-line now. The backfield I've been so impressed with. Even though the two in particular not quite out there yet. Poltok, one of the two that I've been bigging up, Mancinelli the other, but this is Venturoli out there, bid from Udomfong. Look out for him, he will send the body. Poltok Inside, Venturoli. Venturoli back to Laffy, and he hits Poltak on the far side. Laffy wants it again, but goes through to Tognetti. Tognetti waits, goes for Laffy, corner, and wants to shovel, but can't find the right angle, maybe up top. Body's flying, and Arturo Udomfong takes the brunt of it. I think the layout went into his ankle, but he has seemingly walked it off.
Yeah, a bit of friendly fire there from the Izno defenders, and it's not a surprise because everything is converging on that front cone. Bologna need to give themselves some space.
And glad to see Udomfong, because that impact was heavy enough on the left leg there. Long conversation.
Yeah, I'm not sure precisely what the discussion is about.
I think they're trying to convince everybody back home to hit the like button.
Must be that. I also think Udomfong's taking an injury sub here. Caligaro is going to be asked to help out in this short field defense and then presumably provide some firepower after the turn, if they can burgle it away. Don't know what the stall is. 7. There we go.
Laffy turns back to Rossi.
Very sensible.
Laffy, and you see the bid coming from Caligaro. The Izno defenders are sending themselves, but not enough to prevent. No, not in yet. Now it is. Poltak drags the back foot, and La Fotta really had to work to get in that one.
Yeah, I think Iznogood shouldn't be too upset with that because La Fotta, you could tell that they weren't getting wide open. They were, having to fit throws into tight spaces past bidding defenders. I think Riccardo Venturoli has been playing incredible frisbee the past couple of years. He's just, really taken that extra step up in his game, and he's such a core part of what La Fotta do as that hybrid where you can force him into the backfield and get him on the disc, or you can have him open up the deep space, or even in the intermediary when the play's developed a little bit more and he can hit those options and keep it moving. Big fan of what Venturoli offers them.
Ventu, as he's known.
A question for you about this Iznogood side. How many of those players were there when you were coaching for the last World Clubs in Cincinnati 4 years ago?
I think it's 5 is what I counted.
That's a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
So you got a Bouchon, Benji Fenrich, presumably.
Yep.
Was Rouillard there at that point?
Ulysse Rouillard was there at that point.
Giffard
was there.
Maybe an Udomfong.
And that's it. And Raphael Melin was part of the training squad, but was not on. Did not come to Cincinnati.
Not to blow my own trumpet, I'm genuinely impressed that I got that right.
Yeah, you should be getting that trumpet cooking, Benj. Ooh, off the hands, but recuperated. Underneath Caligaro. He sends it deep. Giffard. And Solmi is there to smack it away. Yvon Cantu in the area as well.
Way too angular that throw needed. I think the idea of the edge is good, but it was way too severe.
Break chance for La Fotta. Osri gets going and goes to Solmi. Osri up and around. Romano gets off the ground for it. Cominato. Finding a way to Trombetti, gets it straight back. And now Romano. And we have a call injury by Caligaro, holding his throat.
It must have got knocked in there somehow. Looks like they're going to bring Remy Devoir on as the replacement. Not sure that Fotta have changed anyone.
Shocking.
I guess they feel like they don't need to. Because this D-line's humming.
They are humming, and it hasn't been that long of a point. But I would still take the advantage and get fresh legs.
Me too.
Romano to Comitato. Trombetti in the backfield. Trombetti goes high. Solmi's open on the doorstep. Pops it in. Ostri and La Fotta break again.
Bouchon's gambling in there. He's trying to cloud that throwing lane and almost tempting them into take that difficult option by hurling that backhand over the top. Unfortunately for Bouchon, his calculated gamble didn't come off, a glitch in the matrix somewhere, and they were able to carve that throw over the top. And when they did so, it was just the simple dish in the end for the score. A seasoned campaigner is Trombetti, so he's not going to fall into the trap that they set. I mean, looking at this La Fotta roster, I'm trying to think of who, if anyone, is missing. Gasparini?
No, Gasparini is no longer playing. His injury has taken him out of the sport, very sadly.
That's gutting.
Yes, for him particularly, but for all of his teammates.
But otherwise,
the community, they look pretty full.
It's just the international,
Quinn Viner and Calvin Stoughton. There may be another addition, but and Martin Giuliani, which we did hear from Davide Mori yesterday that he's displeased that he's not here because he was at other tournaments instead of being here. And
there are other tournaments this weekend?
No.
But previous weekends?
Yes.
I see.
Low throw, low pull caught, and then gone to Bouchon. Gibert. Bouchon to Gibert. And Bouchon takes big meters there. And then sends the deep. That one on the money. Hits to Lamar. And a nice bit of play by Iznogood.
That's what they want. Create those big open spaces with hard cutting, driving, committing defenders, and opening up the room for your teammates. And Bouchon delivers with that raking flick across the width of the field. Luca Bouchon's ceiling has always been so high, but at times I think he's maybe struggled to harness himself in the same way. Thinking back to World Beach last year, which is I guess the last time I properly saw him in action as part of that France Open side that got all the way to the semi-finals, he was incredible.
Yeah, that was probably his finest campaign I've seen out of him as well. So good to see that he continues to lift his game and find ways to excel.
I mean, compare 4 years ago where, he's one of the young guns on Izno, kind of getting his feet wet a little bit, and now he's a team leader. And one of the vested vets.
Laffy to Mate. And underneath for Santucci. Santucci goes looking for Mastroianni. And Chopo's got a bag of tricks. Throws the sideline to sideline. Forehand blade for a goal.
Chopo, that's filth, mate. I love it. That soaring shot from sideline to sideline. Really slicing it open for Maestro Andrea Mastroianni on the far sideline.
How long have those two been throwing together?
A while, a fair old while. It's kind of weird still. I've got the dissonance of seeing, even though we should be used to it now, seeing players like Santucci and Antognetti on the O-line, but you know, you see them play, and it makes sense. It's just that they're so good they're such good defenders that you thought they'd never move over. But if you want your best players on your O-line, they have to be out there.
Yeah, it's a great mix, I think, of young, new, new skilled, highly skilled handlers and these chiseled veterans to go along with them. I think it's a very good collection on the La Fotta O-line.
Yeah, it's such a talented coaching staff where you've got Nas, you've got Davide, and who knows who else, right?
That's it. Bouchon winds up and he wants to shoot, and Giffard is there. Great shot by Bouchon to respond.
Route 1, get it at the brick mark, bang it to the end zone, job done. When you can score in one pass, why would you do anything else?
I have no answer for that except score in one shot. That should be job one.
And look, it doesn't always work out like that, as we know. But when you get the look you want, and when you get the one-on-one deep, especially from that central position of the field, if the mark's a little bit loose, then absolutely you can try and get the edge on it that you want. I mean, Bouchon, he doesn't put his full effort into this one, which is correct. You know, he's not going right from the back of his own end zone. From the brick mark, you don't have to overthrow it. You can just be nice and balanced and really pick your spot.
So, La Fotta put that O-line back out there. And am I wrong, or have we not seen Mancinelli today?
You know, you might be right.
So it is Laffy who goes back to Poltalk. And high to the far side of the field. Laffy, he bombs it for Tognetti, but he's not. Oh my goodness, he did get there. How on earth is Pingu still getting that kind of speed?
I thought penguins couldn't fly, and yet Laffy gives him the opportunity to make a highlight reel play. He turned around and gave the most sheepish grin to his teammates of, I kind of got away with that one. No, you massively got away with that one because it was open. The shot was right to go, but he doesn't air it out. He throws it quite flat, and Pingu is forced to chase this so hard. But he does spectacularly in doing so. Tognetti, of course, one of your former super team charges.
Two-time,
correct. And I think he's showing everyone who wasn't abundantly aware of his game exactly why. That white shirt, not white anymore. Those grass stains, those mud stains, look an awful lot like greatness to me.
I am still perplexed how he made that happen. I was in pure disbelief of the potential for it. And Pingu made us all believers.
Do you think that's the brand new footwear?
It could be the new white Tokais, making him super. Izno, what will they do to respond to the Tognetti layout? And we've got a stoppage. Caudron with the disc.
Giarruso's on the deck. I think it's Giarruso, the 88.
Yes, it is, the Argentine.
There's a nice little bit of South American flavour about this La Fotta roster, isn't there?
Yeah,
with an Argentine, a Venezuelan.
The high, really backhand to Bouchon. He goes left-hand pickup. And did it spill out? It did. So La Fotta will get another go at it. Zani to pick up. Riccardo Zani, brother Tommaso also on the squad. Gianrusso to Alberto Laffi. Novak. Right back to Laffi. Laffi inside Alisi. Low but handled by Laffi. He gives the head nod. And then shakes low. Nice pickup. Riccardo Zani. He gives the hammer, and that's going to work. Two of them there. Alisi robs Bavia, but they don't mind. It's a goal in any sense.
How did you describe Bavia yesterday? The oldest looking young guy you've ever seen?
Yes, indeed.
Well, that's a veteran move. I'll let my teammate take it. I don't need the plaudits there. There were three of them who were wide open in the end. It was just a question of make sure we don't get in each other's way.
But Bavia's 19 years old still, and he looks like he could be my uncle.
Yeah, honestly, he does.
I think he's got like a beard. He's got the 830 shadow already as a 19-year-old.
La Fossa are just so dialed in at the moment. I mean, they've not turned it over yet. And when Izno have missed, they've been punished so ruthlessly. You see there the benefit of making sure they got the pull in bounds. Because when Iznogood can bring it in from the brick mark, you can get a set play. You can, come up with a pool play structure and scheme something open. But when the pool is in bounds and you're chasing and hustling it down, you don't necessarily have the opportunity to do that.
La Fotta all smiles on the sideline right now, Benji. They're feeling like they're in a good place.
Admiring our high-tech waterproofing system.
It is top of the line. Nice grab there by Negre. Bouchon shows a bit of a forehand, and I think we've got a pick.
Yeah, just waiting for everyone to get back into position. Gilbert was suspiciously open, as we like to say.
Back to Bouchon. Everybody went deep there. Giffard comes under. Giffard throws low to Gilbert. He goes through to Negre and right back to Gilbert. Negre, Gilbert, exchange once more. Caligaro. Gilbert had lost his defender, and then he misses Bouchon, who shows a little bit of his frustration with the body language.
It was there for them.
But now they will get another chance. Lamar picks up. Shakes back Caligaro in the corner, and they're in. Olivier Gilbert does get the goal in the end. It's 4-6.
Yeah, able to make amends for just putting too much spice on that option to be shot on the far sideline. Turns out La Fossa are human, looking for that swing pass and just not connecting with Comirato. Is no good and not going to give the chance to let La Fossa settle there. They pick it up quickly, try and take advantage of the Italians in transition, and by punching it into Gilbert, they have managed their first task of getting the disc off La Fossa, which, not just for Izno to be fair, but for most teams this weekend, has been so hard to come by. I mean, La Fossa were exceptional in that quarter-final against Oort yesterday. They looked mighty.
They smashed them. Oort lost their will to play, seemingly, by the end of that one. And all credits to La Fotta for just sending out line after line of swarming defense and this high-octane O-line. And there is Mancinelli, which I've got a feeling this is the first time we've seen him on the field. This is the very back of his end zone. They're in Callahan country. But they get out to Pingu, Luca Tognetti. You might remember him from a layout 3 points ago.
Oh yeah, that does ring a bell.
Mancinelli goes to Venturoli, and then Tognetti and Santucci. Santucci around for Venturoli. And let in for Poltok, hard charging. Poltok facing up, finds Chopo, blade to Venturoli. And they do it again.
A little bit of swaz there on that one from Santucci. He drew 2 defenders to the front, so when he wasn't in, it meant there was someone open in the end zone for him to hit. How do we find Venturoli with no wind? It doesn't really matter how we find him, because he's going to have more than enough time to position himself to make the catch, just slinging that little knife over the top there.
Beautiful blade.
Is exactly what the doctor ordered. We've talked about this before. I know that you, as I am, are a big fan of Josh Poltok.
Oh, yeah.
He's just so solid, but he's... yeah, I mean, over the past few years, he's clearly grown physically as well. Not so much up, but he's put on a lot of muscle and bulk, so he's got that extra physicality now, but he still has that quick movement and that dynamism.
Power nugget, and he's got the range of throws is really his most spectacular part of his game. Yeah, sure, he's got a physicality, he's stronger, he gets up, he moves, he chop steps, but his ability to distribute and release points at every part of the access around the body, he can throw it from anywhere to anywhere.
And he's one of those players who, while, a proud Bolognian, or Bolognese, I should say, he didn't necessarily come all the way through La Fotta. He played with Alligators Massey in the mixed division last WCC. He played with one tribe, and then, he's made the step up to La Fotta, and it's felt like he's always been there, and he's part of the furniture now.
Pull goes out of bounds. Bouchon will bring it to the brick mark. And into play. Bouchon goes around. Negra keeps his feet. Trombetti wants him to repurpose his pivot foot. Giffard comes back to the disc, and Romano slips coming into the defensive space. Around goes Giffard, Lamar, and back to Giffard. Negre to Bouchon. Bouchon points for the big, but then waits for the under from Caudron. And the amount of slipping and sliding right now is something out there. Romano bounces off of Giffard, and Giffard's wide open while Romano catches up. Then a defensive switch, and Giffard throws right to Trombetti.
Yeah, Trombetti just stayed in that lane a little bit longer because he thought it might be hot. And in doing so, just collects the freebie from Giffard, and Solmy calls the timeout here, Steph.
I mean, La Fotta just screamed up the field there, got into the attacking half, and Solmy more than happy to take the break here. We're happy to take one too. We'll have this timeout and be back with more action from Tom's Tourney semifinals.
Love the action? Don't miss the breakdown every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central European Time. We go deep.
This is Shot for Goal. I'm your host, Stefan Rapazzo. Join me and co-host Noah Brinkworth as we dissect the world of Ultimate.
From tournament recaps and expert analysis to rule debates and global predictions, we feature guests from all corners of the globe to give you the full picture.
It's your weekly fix of everything happening in the world of Ultimate, and just one more reason to stay locked on to Ulti TV.
7-4. La Fotta inching towards taking half.
What do you think of this timeout call, Steph?
I mean, there is a fair bit of time that has expired. We're 30 minutes and more than halfway through the time. But you know what I think, Benj. I think they didn't need that.
I know, I'm with you. Like, sure, there are times to take an in-play timeout. I just don't think it was necessary there.
Yeah, like, what was...
What have they gained from that?
Exactly. What didn't he like, Solmy? One of the rookies of the team taking the timeout. But perhaps he saw something clearer. Back into play. Trombetti. Inside, Vanetti. And Ostri trying to find his way in. Goes back to Trombetti. Leads inside throw, and then Comirato is there, and looks like the timeout was enough to manufacture a goal. It's halftime at 8-4.
It took them a little bit of time to get going again, but once they did, Iznogood were just left chasing shadows. They've only turned it over once all half, La Fotta, and that was on an errant swing pass. It's not as if there's even been hands on discs, but there's been completions. From Iznogood, they've just not been able to really lay a glove on them.
Well, it's halftime. We'll take a very short break here. We'll come back with more action. Don't you go anywhere. Iznogood, La Fotta. It's 8-4 at halftime. The Italians with a double-up lead and the disc. Mancinelli to Poltok. Laffy. Back central, Mancinelli, Mastroianni. And he goes upside down backhand to Poltok, and then Laffy. Laffy to Mastro. Mastroianni. Laffy spins. Seba Rossi. Rossi inside to Mate. Mate. Off the pivot step goes to Rossi. Rossi waits for Mancinelli, and a bit of a tumble over the defender. Rossi, beautiful inside backhand, gives Mate space. Mastroianni, and that one knocked away by Fenrich. Gibert picks up for the Izno break chance. They have not had a break in this game. Around by Udomfong. Udomfong shoots, and Mickael is there. Second chance unavailable. Great broken up play by Kais Mate, and his team's giving him some love from the sideline.
We've not seen anywhere near enough of Kais Mate since he joined La Fotta because he's really struggled with injury, but you see how dynamic he can be when he's out there. Huge play to get the disc back for his side. the Frenchman, one of those outside European influences that the Fotta sprinkle their roster with, and he is right up there with the best of them.
Udomfong smacks that one away, and they get it back. Him and Gibert behind the disc. Fenrich to Ulysse Rouillard. Rouillard goes across center for Gibert. Rouillard takes again. He looks back to Gibert, who's front and center of the end zone.
Hey.
Iznogood. Can they stay poised? They're in a very good place to break. Rouillard leads. Udomfong is there. And Izno get their first break of the game.
The Fotta have not been broken much this tournament, but they had to surrender one there. Their level dropping a little bit. And good on Izno for being able to punish them. The Fotta weren't broken at all in that quarter-final game. But Iznogood, I thought giving up that break going into half, especially with Le Fotta receiving to begin the second half, there was a chance for them to really put the game to bed. But fair play to Izno, because they found a way to force themselves back into this contest. And I think this is very much still game alive.
I agree with you.
As good as Le Fotta have been, they are human.
They are. One more break, and of course the scoreboard moves favorably, but it's more so the disbelief of your ability to roll this one to the end when you start getting broken in the second half, when you're getting broken when you're a bit more tired. Gibert sends the pull. Laffy and Poltok anchor the offense. Tognetti comes under. Tognetti to Rosi. And Giacomo Rosi to Venturoli. Venturoli backhand for Pingu. That's going to work. And Ventu and Pingu connect to hold, making it 9-5.
That's the way you want to respond after you get broken. Calmly go down the field. There's not too much pressure on any of these passes. And your offense, as you might expect with some of the experienced heads on that line, able to shrug it off like nothing happened. Go back out there and get the job done.
Pressure back onto the Izno line to be able to hold if they do want to have some belief of the late game comeback. These holds have got to be the assured part of their game. Big thanks to all you at home watching in the comments, in the chats. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not already a subscriber, shame on you. But you've got time to do that now. And what else can they do, Bench?
You know, you can become a member of our YouTube channel as well. Or you can sign up to our Patreon. Patreon.com/LTTV.
All great ways to help. Iznogood from their own end zone. Bouchon. And Giffard charges under. Giffard leads center for Bouchon. And David. Waiting for a dead risky throw on that side, but he does get it to Bouchon, who sees Negre, and he puts a blade the other way. That one, Lamar. And charging in to the red zone is the Red House. And that one is found for a goal. Great attack of the disc by Negra, and Iznogood. Make it 6-9.
I feel like when their offense rolls, it's really stylish. You know, they'll take slightly less orthodox options, have unconventional angles in the throws and the cuts, and it makes it quite tough to defend. It's a very tight physical mark there from Zani. I feel like there's probably a marking violation or two in there somewhere. In the end, Artur Negra with the score, and you can see it from the gimbal angle. Just trying to move the mark further and further around and backwards, and it gives you an easier inside forward throw for the score.
Olivier Gibert set to pull for the Parisians. No, they're not from Paris. They're from Noisy-le-Sec, a suburb just outside of the city limits.
Ah, so they're from Paris.
Yeah, exactly. Mancinelli to Santucci, and he puts it looking for Rosie. Rouillard on the chase. And this is a break chance. The Santucci throw sails past the sideline.
Yeah, it really got away with him. It just kept on going and turned and never took the angle back in towards the centre of the field. Even if it had, I feel like Rouillard was in a pretty good position, and we know what a dynamite defender Ulysse Rouillard can be.
Yeah. He initially got on to Iznogood. I mean, we needed a player after tryouts, and there was lots of talk about it, but it was a Tom's Tourney iPhone captured layout D was what I was first shown, saying this is the guy we want.
Who was he playing for?
I got to get back to you on that. Maybe Le Mans or Manchot at the time. That one goes down, picked up. There's a foul, and I think it comes all the way back to the throw. It will.
Yeah, Rosie accepted that one nice and quickly. So it'll come back in with the stall on 1. Not 0 as he indicates. It's always 1 unless there's no one there.
And Coquebert misses completely on that throw, and now and then Rossi gives him the gift back. Fenriche smacks that one out the back. Nobody wants to complete a pass right now.
Coquebert got away with that one, didn't he? Because it was not a good throw in his own end zone. Rossi just thinks he can sit this one over the top to the back of the end zone. But as you mentioned, Benji Fenriche has other ideas. The speedster, but he didn't really need to open up the legs for that one because it was in close quarters.
Gibert spins and goes to Fenriche. Back to Gibert, and hands are waving. We've got some violating.
Fenriche has just got rid of the disc. You know what that means, Steph? He's open deep.
Yeah, exactly. He can go for a run.
And I think that's exactly what you want him to do. If I'm the D-line, I'm trying to scheme up a way. How do we get Fenriche streaking beyond everyone? Because when he's in full stride, there are few who can keep up with him.
Gibert around, and Rouillard comes. Mickael was deep, and some good hard cutting, good switching by the Italian defenders. This, of course, is the O-line playing defense. A break chance here for Iznogood. And Rossi and Gibert are not able to agree with each other right now.
Yeah, those two are clearly, have a little bit of friction between them. I think we'll put it that way. It's going to go back here to Gibert, who's calling the spirit timeout.
Has he indicated for it?
Yeah, he made the upside down T.
Maybe he's threatening for it. Don't make me use this.
The nuclear option.
And back into play. Not yet.
When everyone gets back to where they were again. Don't you just love Frisbee?
You know I do, Benji. Fenrich to Gibert and Ruyard. Fenrich has Kopi. And Gibert shoots deep. That might work. That might work, and it does. Couturier Ferrer runs it down, and Izno break again. They're winning the second half 3-1 right now.
Yeah, they're a different animal since the interval. It just gave them an opportunity to get that mental reset. The slight break got Fotta out of rhythm, and none of those breaks have been clean, but they've been able to get themselves second opportunities, and when they have, they've made them count. That is a scorching deep shot from Gibert. You felt like this point had been a bit stop-starty, so they were going to open things up sooner rather than later. Holtok is beat deep. It's just a question about the throw, and it sits ever so beautifully, and the cloche unveiled for the score into the hands of Romain Couturier-Ferrer. Nine to 7. This is still a game, Steph. This is still a game. Of course, this is only the first of the two open semi-finals. Up next, we've got a mouth-watering match between Mooncatchers and Nomadic Tribe.
What a clash of styles that one's going to be.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, the freewheeling Belgian timber against the fast-moving, angle-changing Japanese style. It's going to be good. Venturoli to Tognetti. Ruyard gets through. What a bid for the D.
Yeah, Tognetti had his hand up in apology. He knew that he could have got there if he just ran it out, but I don't think he was expecting Ruyard to explode like he did. More fool him.
Gibert. Udom Fong into the dump space. And all sorts of congestion at the front of the stack. Picks called everywhere.
If the break comes in here, I'd think about calling the timeout if I was Fotta. If I still had it.
Oh, did they use that when they didn't really need to?
They might well have done.
Tognetti's going to get that back. Yes, he will. He does steal it. That throw was inoptimal. Poltok to Mancinelli. Mancinelli opens the arm looking for Mate Ruyard, and then the young Frenchman finds his way between Udomfonk and Ruyard. Two hands in the air and takes the goal for the Italians.
He gets the better of his compatriots on that occasion. It's the first time Fotta's O-line has scored having given up the disc. That time they were able to make the most of their second opportunity with the extra set provided to Kais Mate.
A tough one for Izno. They got to find breaks. Having that chance was so close. The Ruyard layout was huge. They want to capitalize on those big sparks with time ticking away right now.
But, I mean, they've been so much better since the interval. They're creating much more of a threat defensively. You know, when they've got the disc in hand, I think they're being a bit more creative with it and pulling apart Fotta's defense a bit more. Yeah, it's a different game since the half, for sure.
Lamar to Bouchon. Deep shot goes, and you know he's going to pull that trigger, but he's put too much on it. Caligaro, one of his favorite targets, is left with no chance as that one sails beyond.
You got to shrug it off. You got to have that goldfish memory and go and earn it back.
Comitato to Ostri. Comitato again. Underneath Solmi, and this D-line is cooking. Romano. Comitato pointing elsewhere, and then the elsewhere leads to a layout bid from Negre. And Iznogood will get a second chance to hold.
Yeah, it just gave Negre the opportunity to expect it.
Bouchon. And waits and then puts it up high for Lamar, and then they send the big. There is going to be a massive humanity under that one, and that is enough for it to not be caught.
Yeah, that was not a good shot, because with that maelstrom of bodies underneath it, it's so hard to get a clean opportunity to bring it down.
La Fotta in their end. Comitato trying to quarterback this D-line into another break, but Trombetti leads it way too far in front. Iznogood have to get this hold now.
Surely.
Bouchon to Lamar.
If they get broken here, it feels like it's game as good as over.
I'm with you on that. Bouchon very high, and way too much of a chance for all of the charging La Fotta defenders to get a hand on it.
Iznogood's offense has lost its composure a little bit, maybe.
And now can La Fotta make him pay the other way? A 5 turnover point right now. Vandelli and Comitato exchange. Trombetti all alone on the sideline. He sends the backhand looking for Romano, and just enough done by Negre to take it away again.
He didn't get a hand on it, but he did not need to, because he comes right across Romano's vision. And that's enough, and it goes right through the Venezuelan's hands. This is such a pivotal point now. 3 turnovers aside. Who can gut their way through it?
Luca Bouchon will meet Talosri, and the disc is in play. Bouchon, Lamar, and Giffard. Giffard to Caligaro. Lamar far side. And Lamar begs for a cut from Caligaro, gets one. Low, and Bouchon can't catch it at the ankles.
Iznogood can't get out of their own way at the moment.
And they don't have a timeout to take. Talosri is trying to take a timeout, but they don't have it.
This is one of those occasions where the midpoint timeout would make sense to me, because it's been so fractured and neither side's been close to their best. So it would give you an opportunity for a mental reset. But as we have discussed at length, there is no timeout left for them to take.
Ostri goes back to Trombetti. Vandelli for Solmi. Solmi fires in the corner, and Comitato does corral it, and that could ice things.
Yeah, they didn't need the timeout in the end. They were just able to go down and get the job done. Even the taking of the non-existent timeout just maybe gave them a second or two to breathe, and that was what was required. I think at this point, it does feel like that is an absolute dagger. That throw low, not the easiest catch for Bouchon, but it's a catch Bouchon should be making, and I'm sure he is aware of that as well. And that finally was the opportunity that Fotta needed to take care of business at an 11-7 lead with less than 5 minutes on the clock. It feels like the semi-final's going only one way, but that's the great thing, I guess, is that until that last point goes in, game is still on. Game still very much on. I'd be surprised if Fotta couldn't get it over the line from here, but I've seen stranger things.
Indeed, we have a 4-point lead with the scoreboard changing itself to 11-7 here. 4 points and about 3 minutes until the soft cap, time cap, will be sounded. And Devois catches the pole and goes to Gibert.
Yeah, they've put the D-line out there to play offense now.
Riyad fires looking for Mickael, and the throw did not have enough on it. Novak swats it away. And Fotta could really put this out of reach with a goal here. Sanako to Bavia. He had Fenrish bearing down. Sanako to Laffy. Laffy, high release, backhand, lefty to Zani, and a pick called.
That last point was so marathon that Iznogood felt they couldn't put the same guys out there. They put the D-line on, it doesn't work, it turns over. Whereas Fotta, it's fine, we'll just put the other D-line on and crack on with it.
Back with Alberto Laffy. And violation. Zani and Udomfong having a chat. Laffy to Sadako. Sadako inside Zani. Zani gives the hammer. Laffy can't get up for it. And a second chance given to the Izno D-line that's playing at this point. Novak on the chase, but Mickael manages. Now Gibert. Udomfong. And he's hit on the mark by Zani. Calls the foul, slows down the play.
We did note out the physical marking from Ricardo Zani a bit earlier. Violation as the Hooters just about to go. So finish this point, cap +1. There's the air horn.
Daft Punk's aerodynamic will fill the airwaves. And Gibert and Iznogood. We'll see what they can do to try and close the gap and hopefully make this a game to 12. Wow, I can't believe that worked. And we've got an injury by Giarusso. He went up and tried to take it out of the sky. Riyard ended up getting the sky there, and Giarusso took the impact, presumably to the ribs.
It's going to be Comerato who's on as the replacement. Izno don't look like they're subbing anyone.
Shocking.
Yeah, I would definitely get one of my big offensive threats out there.
Yeah. Riyad to Gibert. Right back to Ulysse Riyad. He sends for Udomfong, and they're in. And they're going to keep this one tight. They're still down by a triple. It's a game to 12. A lot of game points available for La Fotta, but they'll celebrate the small win and take that hold.
Yeah, whatever happens, and it feels like, I mean, we know it's such a tough ask against this La Fotta side, but the game it's so different now to how it was before half-time. The first half, La Fotta just looked unstoppable. They only turned it over once. And in the second half, Iznogood really have stepped up their defense. They've been able to generate a lot more pressure. They've been better with their D-line offense, but I think La Fotta built themselves a big enough advantage going into the half. You know, 4 breaks up that it would have been really tough to lose it from there for a side of their quality.
So at 11-8, the Izno sideline starts digging in to follow the pull. And Laffy and La Fotta start their way towards the far end zone. Venturoli through the middle. Tognetti then, the next look, he's directing traffic. Rossi comes under. This for a berth in the finals. Coppi, the recipient, and La Fotta have got the job done. They've finished off Iznogood and take the 12-8 victory into Tom's Tourney final.
Yeah, La Fotta looked mortal for the first time this weekend. They were not at their best, but they were more than good enough. That first half, where they raced away from Iznogood, gave them that buffer. They could keep the French side at arm's length. Still, I think a semi-final's a good weekend for Izno, and they've got the chance of the bronze medal. They'll take on the loser of the other semi-final, which is up next, Mooncatchers versus Nomadic Tribe.
Can't wait for that one. I know you all at home are going to be waiting and salivating for another banger. Make sure you stay locked on for the semi, the bronze matches, and then 2 finals to follow. For the whole Alti TV crew and Benji Reese alongside, I've been Steph Pazzo. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you all next time.
TV.